Hello and welcome to a post Rhinebeck recap, I guess. Welcome to the chaos. This is going to be pretty intense. As usual, I'm coming to you all with these recaps with no script. I am medicated and I only have an hour to film. So let's go ahead and jump right in. If you watched my pre-Rhinebeck video, you know that I went to 2 Friday events as well as the whole Rhinebeck weekend. And so I attended Untangled and a Woolen Affair on Friday. And then I did attend New York Sheep and Wool on both Saturday and Sunday. And I wanted to share with you all the things that I got. If you've been around for a while, you know that I've kind of eliminated the acquisitions portion of the channel, but it wouldn't be a sort of festival weekend if I didn't show you all what I got and just let you in on some of the madness. So the way that I'm going to break this video up is I'm going to share with you all kind of a little bit of the experience of each of the 3 events, and as I do that, I'm also going to share with you all the goods that I got, which I haven't crunched the numbers in terms of money, like monetary, but I do have some numbers to share with you in the end in terms of how much stuff I got, which, you know, based on the fact that I was going mostly on vibes, I think I did pretty well this weekend. I did get everything that I wanted to get and a few extra things. So let's go ahead and jump right in with Indie Untangled. So the first event of the weekend that I went to was Indie Untangled, and that one is in Saugerties, New York, and I think it's like the Hits stables, but in any case, it was in the same location as it was last year, which was this beautiful stable, and it is just a really well organized event. It is obviously one of the smaller events, being an ancillary event, and I just think it's just like really well organized, really well spread out. They have timed ticket entry, which I actually love the most. I never thought that I would like timed ticket entries, and obviously a lot of that came out of the Great Panini, but they have managed to keep that going, and I actually really like that because I think it gives folks a good amount of time to shop, and then also kind of keeps the wave coming for the vendors, and then you as someone who's shopping, you kind of go, you relax a little bit, you shop, and then you are able to hang out outside of the actual kind of buildings where the vendors are set up, and there is sort of like an area where there's like music and tables and things like that if you want to sort of hang out for a bit, if you get there before or you want to stay after, but otherwise you kind of do your shopping and then you're done. So this year I went to the first slot of Indie, and so that means that I did get the bag as part of the ticket, and there was some swag that was included in the bag as well. And so this is the Indie bag for this year, which is absolutely amazing. And I guess as I say this, I do want to thank Trisha of Yarn Jam, who actually gifted me the ticket to go to the first slot. And yeah, I was really excited about the event. I saw everyone that I wanted to see and a few more people as well. So I was at the first lot, which was 10 to 12, and I was also giving Kim of Newburgh Yarn Co. my sample. So I got there a little bit early, rushed right in, rushed right past folks to make sure that Kim got my sample, and then I got to hang out a little bit before, until the doors opened, and then I could officially shop. So I will go ahead and start pulling things out of the bag and show you all what I got. So first up, I wouldn't be me if I didn't make an unplanned yarn purchase, but I did end up picking up some of Kim's Coriadel Sport Base in one of the show colors, which is called Dramatic Effects. And I am absolutely obsessed. So this is a 2-ply woolen spun 25 micron Coriadel yarn. It is 100% non-superwash, and it is 492 yards per 100 grams. And I just absolutely love this color. Ended up getting 3 of them, and I have plans for making a slipover. If you watch my sort of prep video, you know that I'm in my slipover era, and I'm really excited to get going on that. And then in addition, I picked up some little sweater needle stoppers in this really pretty blue color. So I'm really excited about that. In the same building was my friend Shell of Sassafras Knits, and I picked up some stitch markers. I am not a super big Halloween-y person, but these were just so adorable, and just the vibes were there, and not like in your face Halloween. So I picked up this little set of little Halloween inspired markers. And then I also picked up a little set that was called the Dreamers, which has a little moon and stars on them. And then Shell also has these little pill boxes in the stand where you can organize your stitch markers. So I do have a few from last year from Shell as well, so I wanted to go ahead and pick up a little box, and this will be my little box where I keep all of my Sassafras Knits stitch markers. Next up, also in the same building, I guess I'll just go building by building, I hit up my friend Michael of Upland Fibers booth, and I had never seen his yarn in person, even though we've seen each other a few times now since we officially met, and I'd never seen his yarn in person, so I was really excited to see it. And yeah, so I ended up picking up a skein of his core worsted, which is a 50% Cormo, 50% Corriedale. And this is in the worsted weight, which is 220 yards for 100 grams. And I picked this up in the color Saddle because my plan is, I realized as I was going through the booths and it was quite cold in the morning, that I don't have fingerless mitts. So I picked up a skein to make myself some fingerless mitts. And of course, I went ahead and picked up a pin because we all love our pins. And I'm really excited to add his pin to my tote. So that was the first building, and I forget what they're all called. I probably should have this up. But the second building, which I know is the horseshoe, so that's the big one right in the middle, is where I got to hang out with Trisha of Yarn Jam, and I did pick up the show color, or I should say Rhinebeck color, that Trisha just debuted, and I picked it up on the Natural Shanico, which is a merino rambouillet blend, and so, or a cross I should say. And so I picked up two of these, and the reason why you're only seeing one, so this is the color Rhinebeck 2025, and so the reason why you're only seeing one of these, even though I picked up two, is because I've actually already started spinning one, and I'm almost actually done with the first half of the spinning. So for this one, I'm actually going to do a 3-ply fractal, and I'm planning on knitting another grid gambit. And then the second one I got to pair with another braid of Trisha's yarn that I have at home. And I think that the colors will go really well. And since I wanted to go ahead and get started, I was really excited. I went ahead and started that since I do have my EEW with me. So I'm just about done with the first 2 ounces. And this is probably not the best way to show you all this, but this is how the single is spinning up. So when we did get back on Friday after all of the events, I did steam the fiber. I do like to steam my fiber, and then I split it in half and it ran away. And then I've been spinning from it. So this one I'm just splitting in half, which I'll do with the other one as well, and then spin them end to end and then ply them together to be a 2-ply combo spin. I don't know what it's going to be, but we will see what that ends up being. So those are the goodies that I got at Trisha's booth. In the Horseshoe Barn, I also got to meet Kira Wiggins for the first time, who's a fellow Jersey City person, so it was really exciting to meet up. And actually we realized that we're neighbors. We live really close to each other. And yeah, so I did pick up 2 braids of her show color, which is called Acorn Spice. And it is an 85% BFL, 15% recycled sari silk. It's 100-gram braids for each of them. And then I also, because we know that Kira is known for her Rolags, so pardon the crinkle, I did pick up these cute little Rolags, which just were calling to me. And so these are hand-carded blends. And so this is Corriedale, Shetland, and Stellina. So these are 50-gram Rolags. So I'm really excited about that. And then I think the last stop that I took in the Horseshoe Building was Camp Stitchwood, and I bought a few pins and some stickers. So I did end up getting the Indie Untangled 2025 pin, and then I got myself a little Road Trip Crafter pin because I've been knitting on the go quite a bit. And then I did get a little Frog Queen pin. And so this Frog Queen pin I got specifically because my knitting circle, or crafting circle I should say, we decided that in December we are going to have a frog party. So we are going to come with all of our things that we want to frog, and I saw the pin and I thought it would be really cute to have that on hand so that in December whoever ends up frogging the most yardage will get the Frog Queen pin. And then I did get a couple of stickers because, you know, we love some stickers. This is the one that I think they partnered with Kim of Newburgh Yarn Co. on. I got a little yarn trip sticker since I will be traveling the world this year for our Yarny Adventures. And then I got a little book stand, or not book stand, but a stack of books. And so these are really cute because they say Swatchless Regrets, The Shrunken Sweater, Yarns to Die For, The Drop Stitch, Search for the Missing Dye Lot, and Tangles of Terror. So I guess these are all horror books, which is quite cute. And then my last stop of the morning at Indy was at Plies and Hellhounds, which my friend Tashi, who stayed with me for the weekend, was helping Gabby vend in the morning, who is the owner of Plies and Hellhound. And I've actually been wanting to make a pair of sort of tweedy socks. So I picked up this skein on her, I guess it's Aran base, which is a 85% superwash BFL, 15% NEPs, and the color is called Warmed Caramel, and it is 438 yards to 100 grams. So that is everything that I picked up at Indy Untangled. So after Indy Untangled, I made the drive over to Kingston, which was about a 30-minute drive from Saugerties to Kingston. It was a really easy drive, and I made the drive to go to a Woolen Affair, which I'm really excited about. I also was throughout the weekend helping the Amy Shore Makes team sort of set up and tear down. I did not officially work the event, but you know, I stepped in here and there whenever needed and made sure that everyone had everything that they needed. But I was primarily just going on vibes. So I got there, I got to see some of my really good friends. I got to see and meet new friends, and I got to meet a lot of you guys. I think that's probably where I saw the most viewers that I didn't already kind of had friendships with, was at a Woolen Affair, which was really fun. And since I was there for pretty much the whole day, it was really great to just hang out. The food was delicious. I ended up having a crab sandwich, crab cake sandwich from one of the food trucks that was there, which was so good. Thank you, Sarah of Little Dynamite Knits, for the recommendation, because she came over to the booth and told everyone like we needed to get the sandwich, and of course I got the sandwich because if Sarah says we need to get something, we need to get something. And yeah, it was a really good time. Got to hang with my girls and just hang out for the day. I don't know where I'm going with this, guys. So first up, I guess I will show you guys, since this is where I'm drinking my tea out of and I could probably take a sip. I did get the Golden Earth pre-order, and this mug is absolutely stunning, and I am obsessed with this mug, so I did do the pre-order for this one. I don't know if she ended up having any that were not part of the pre-order, because again, I think by the time I got there it was probably just afternoon. So I had just, since I had done the pre-order, I just like picked up my mug. But I know by the time I got there, there were definitely, if she'd had any overstock, there definitely weren't any of this particular mug left. And yeah, and I guess maybe probably through the preview party, because there was a preview party on Thursday night for a Woolen Affair that I did not attend. But anywho, I do have my Amy Sharm Makes and Ruby Knits tote, since I was kind of, not officially a booth babe, but I was a helper of the weekend, transporter of the goods, if you will. So yeah, this is probably where, I mean, actually, no, I didn't do too bad. So in our booth specifically, I was not allowed to buy any Amy Sharm Makes products, because if y'all had seen some of the colors, you would know why, and I needed to leave it for you all. But I did manage to snag up some of Sharon's items, and then probably will buy from our own overstock later on. So for this, and I have very specific plans, I'll show you all both of them together. It's 2 braids and this yarn. So I'll show you the braids first. So first I got 2 braids of Sharon's show color, which was called Carrots, exclamation point. And this is on it is a Shanico base. However, this one is higher micron, so it's a little bit more toothy than the one that Trisha of Yarn Jam carries. And so this one is 24.5 microns. And these are 100-gram braids instead of 4-ounce braids. And this is what that color looks like. And I'm really excited. So I ended up getting 2, so I'm gonna do a fractal spin. I think I have to do a 2-ply fractal because I'm pretty sure the pattern I'm spinning, the pattern I'm spinning for is a sport weight. So I'm gonna be doing a 2-ply fractal for this one. And I'm going to be pairing it with Sharon's Woolly Cory Sport, which is actually the same base as the Newburgh base that I got, which I saw later on. Oh, this braid is falling apart. Not falling apart, but it's coming undone. We'll leave that there. But this is Sharon's Woolly Cory Sport, which again is that 100% woolen spun Corriedale, 492 yards per 100 grams. And this color is called Lingonberry Jam. And so the plan is to do a 2-ply fractal with the braid, and then the Cory Sport will be my main color, and I'll pair these together to work up Sam's pattern that she was going to be releasing in just a little bit. And I think it's called Flannel Crush, if I remember correctly. Don't quote me on that. If it's not, I will correct myself here on the screen. And so I'm really excited about that. And then looking at my bag here, I made my way over to Distal Think Fiber. And if you all have been watching the pod, you know that I'm working on a 3-color combo spin where I am making 3 2-ply skeins of yarn, and the way that I'm combo spinning them is I'm going to have 3 different color braids, and so I will then ply them together in like a 1 2 2 3 3 1 combo so that they all get like plied together. And I'm going to make the traveler shawl with that. And so I needed a 3rd purple skein, and I was in their booth, and I'm using my other fiber is BFL. So I was looking through the Distal Think fiber, and I saw this Rambouillet that really called to me. And I saw 2 colors that I think might work, but then I wasn't 100% sure which one I would like more. So I just decided to get both of the braids because eventually they'll get worked up. So these are the 2 braids that I got. So you see they're still in the same wheelhouse because obviously they need to go with the combo spin, but they are slightly different. And this is what their tag looks like. And so I got, let's see, so this is Belt of Venus, and again, it's 100% Rambouillet. It's a 4-ounce braid. And then the second one, which is the one I think that's calling to me a little bit more, but I wasn't sure if this one was too close to my little fiber co-braid that I had gotten, which is why I wanted to get one that was a little bit more muted, I guess. And so this one is called Weaver. And again, it's that 100% Rambouillet 4-ounce braid. So I've got a nice pile of braids. And for those of you all that are keeping track, to date, I've been very righteous about the fact that I don't have a fiber stash. And I think it's going to become very apparent that I do now have a fiber stash. But yeah, I'm really happy to pick up those fibers. I also met a few folks that I have been friendly with on Discord online for a while, so it was really great to meet them in person. And we were all just in the booth together, and it was a really good time. So then I had to stop by and visit my friend of Lily Loops, and I did end up getting a skein of sock yarn because we all know how much Mia loves her sock yarn. And so this is really nice, and I like it because it's a bit of a departure for her because it is a bit moody. So I really loved it. And so this is Angela Bofill, Angel of the Night. And this is on an 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% stellina yarn. And so I am really excited to make myself a pair of really cute and cozy socks with this yarn. And then as I see the bottom of my bag, I realized that I missed a couple things that I had picked up from the ASM and Rui Knits booth, and I'm going to try not to crinkle too much. But I really loved this idea that Sharon put together, and this is a collab that she did with Nicole Knits, and where you have a little key ring for your stitch markers. So you get a set of stitch markers and they're on a key ring. And so I got this little mushroom set that has a leaf and a flower. And then because, you know, cats, I had this little cat set. And so this one has a flower and a strawberry, a little black cat. But I really love this because it has the key ring, so you can kind of just even attach it to your keys if you wanted to. And then I did get the pin because we all love pins to put on our tote bags. And I think that is it for a Woolen Affair. And then I can get to the craziness behind me. So up next, we will talk about New York Sheep and Wool. Okay, so New York Sheep and Wool did attend both days. I did get what I wanted to get, and then I did get a few more things. And also, this is where some of the shenanigans that are going to happen over the next year are going to come to light. If y'all have been watching my videos recently, you know that I will be going to Barcelona Knits next month with Tashi, who was my roommate and will now be my permanent roommate for New York Sheep and Wool weekend. We are very lucky that our partners get along really well together, and we've decided this is the permanent crew for life that will travel together for the weekend. But we will be going to Barcelona Knits. I have managed to wrangle them to come with me. Then we're also planning on going to Nash Yarn Fest. I know that I think Amy is trying to convince them to come to the Midwestern Wool Conference, which is the week following, which I will actually be working. And we are going to flock together next year. So the two of us are going to be just beep-bopping along internationally around the states going to various festivals. I know that they are probably going to go to Maryland. I cannot go to Maryland because that is the start of reading week for me. And that will be hopefully my last semester of school. So definitely won't be able to make that, but we will see what happens. So this will all make sense as I go along. So starting up, we are going to talk about the fleece barn. Okay, we're talking about the fleece barn. So if y'all follow Tashi, which I'm assuming you all do, because first of all, they're a rad human. Second of all, if you're not, please do. So if y'all follow Tashi, you know that the second doors open on Saturday, Tashi goes to the fleece barn. And of course, Tashi's wing woman for the weekend, so I go to the fleece barn. And, you know, have I ever processed a fleece? No. Did I have any business being in the fleece barn as someone who's only been spinning for about 5 months? No. Did I still go to the fleece barn, particularly because I wanted a tote? Yes. And of course, Tashi fell in love with a fleece, which I will let them speak to in their podcast a bit more. And I've decided that I'm going to split said fleece with them because then they have offered to process it for me. Obviously, I'm going to pay them to process it for me. So I got half a fleece. I do have locks somewhere. Don't know where. But we did split half a fleece. It's just over 8-pound fleece from Fox Hollow Farms of a Corriedale Columbia cross. Her name is Mercury, and I am super excited to have half a fleece that I will then have to spin once Tashi is able to process it for me. But also in the fleece barn, I finally got my first ever Rhinebeck tote. Now, I've been coming to Rhinebeck since 2009, and so I was just like, meh, I don't need a Rhinebeck tote. But this year, since I was in the fleece barn, I decided to get a Rhinebeck tote. And of course, we needed to get the gay tote. Although the non-gay tote was just as beautiful, but did get the gay tote. I'm actually obsessed with this tote because it's like, not only is it zippered and it has the pocket on the inside, but it has pockets on the back, y'all. There's pockets on the back, so as I was walking around, I could like slip my phone in there. I could slip business cards in there. It was awesome. So I got my tote, and I got my fleece, which is not pictured here. I guess I can leave that there, a little cutie. So that was the fleece barn. While Tashi was checking out, I decided to go over one barn over to Feederbrook and see what they had. Sometimes they have like, you know, big bags of fiber, which I'm sure they probably did, but you know, by the time we were done in the fleece barn, we're probably gone. But I did end up getting a small bag of their mill ends because I mean, it's $15 for 8 ounces. And so I did get a bag of mill ends from Feederbrook Farms. That I'm excited to spin up. Who knows what's gonna be? I don't know. It's gonna be spun up. It's gonna be something. When I'm gonna spin all this fiber, we're gonna ignore that, okay? We're gonna ignore the fact that I'll let you know. I'll let you know at the end how much fiber I got. That was Feederbrook Farms, and then from there immediately we went to Into the World. And the reason for going to Into the World is because I fell in love with Andrea's Traveler Hood. Andrea Mowry's Traveler Hood, the second she released it, which of course she released it like right before Rhinebeck, you know, just evil plans. And I chatted up my friend Andrea of the Knitting PT, or we were in a group chat, and I was just like, I need to spin for this. That's going to be my second goal of Rhinebeck. So initially I had gone in saying I wanted to buy a sweater spin, but then I was like, I want to spin for this. And then Andrea was like, yeah, let's do a Salcal. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So essentially we decided we're going to get the same fiber, same color, spin it up together, make the same pattern. And then of course Tashi was like, have y'all seen the Into the World color for this year? And we were like, no. And we pulled it up and we were like, what? So the three of us, Tashi, myself, and Andrea, will be spinning the same color, same fiber, and knitting the same pattern for next year's Rhinebeck. So this is matching project number 1. And this is the color. I got 3 braids. And we got them all on the same base, which is the Falkland, because it just looked absolutely stunning. And actually, I'm going to open one of these up because y'all need to see this. I'm sorry for the crinkles. But these are all 4-ounce braids. And I think the pattern, based on the size that we would all make, or I think Andrea might make the 2nd size, and then Tashi and I would make the 3rd size, we would need 800 grams of sport weight, or 800 yards of sport weight yarn. And so obviously to account for just your difference in gauge and spinning and sampling, all that jazz, we ended up getting 3 braids each. And y'all, this color is so good. I'm so obsessed. So we have, I wonder if I can make a little braid crown. See how that'll look since it'll be the hood. Yeah. We're gonna make the Traveler Hood by Andrea Mowry. So that is the Into the World 2025 New York Sheep and Wool exclusive colorway, which is called Ambrosia. So those were our must-haves of the week, and all happened pretty much within the first 2 hours that we got there. Luckily, we got our Into the Worlds because literally when we got there, I think we got the last 9 braids of Falkland that they had. So we really lucked out. And from there, we were just vibing the rest of the weekend. And vibe we did. So we will get into some more stuff. If you all have been following my Rhinebecks for the past few years, I've really fallen in love with everything that Flora and Fauna Farms do. They have a small flock of Romney sheep about an hour and a half here further west of my cabin, so it's like 2.5 to 3 hours from Rhinebeck. And she has a new base this year, which is the Vernal, and it's kind of just like a textured sport base. And I ended up getting the base is a sport weight base, and I got the natural color, and it is a 2-ply yarn. And so I do have a specific plan for this, so I didn't feel as bad buying this yarn. Also, it's special yarn, so, and we need to support our small farmers. I got these to make my cinnabar shawl. So if y'all have been here since my fall plans video, I put out a poll both here on YouTube and on Instagram asking everyone one of 3 shawls that I should make with a spin that I did from Trisha's Fleece Force colorway. And I have quite a bit of yardage. I think I have something like 900 grams. I keep saying grams. 900 yards of that, I believe. And the cinnabar pattern, like one far and above the other 2 patterns, which I was really happy about because that was actually the pattern that I wanted to make at the end. And I had kind of decided already as I posted the polls that I wanted to make that pattern. And then I was just going to be like, well, if the poll says something different, I'm still going to make the cinnabar. So whatever. And then as we were standing online, I think it was on Saturday to eat, Michael of Piece for Piece stopped by and said hi. And first of all, Michael is like the raddest human and how we've never met before. I was just like, oh my God, I love you so much. Can I take you home? And so we met in person, and he was carrying around his cinnabar in his bag. And I was like, wait, is that the cinnabar? And he was like, Yes, and I literally, without asking, just went in his tote bag and just pulled it out, and I was just like, doo, 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 doo. I'm looking at the shawl, and he paired his it was very his contrast color is very similar to my fleece force color, and the main color for his is also kind of a very neutral color. So I was just like, well, there we go. Those are the colors. I was going to put a poll here to see like what I had in stash that I could potentially use as my main color, but now I don't have to because I saw Michael's and I said I want that, and so that is what I ended up buying for that project. So, you know, at this point now we're matching several people. We've got Andrea, we've got Tashi, we've got Michael. Then we're just like going around, and while I was in the barn where Flora and Fauna Farm are, Woodland Pixie is in the same barn in the corner. And I was looking at their stuff, and at that point it was pretty late in the day, so their batlings were pretty like much gone. But I was like looking at what they had left, and I really fell in love with this one. And then Tashi goes, "Wait, is that bag end?" And I was like, "It is bag end." And they were like, "Well, I have bag end, so if you get bag end, we can spin it and do something with it." So I did get little batlings in the bag end colors from Woodland Pixie. And it turns out that Andrea also got this colorway. So if you're sensing a theme here, you're sensing a theme, yeah? And so these are little batlings, batlings, and they are merino, mulberry silk, tussa silk, cashmere, sari silk, and silk noir. And so I think that Tashi and I are thinking we're going to spin these up as a gradient and make a little tiny scarf with these, like the Sophie scarf or something like that. Or, no, what's the jaunty, I think is the one that we were talking about. So really excited to be able to do these little batlings up. And as we were going around, we met some folks, we saw some friends, and someone told us about the Coopworth people. And I am going to completely, oh my God, I completely forgot your name. I'm so sorry. We see each other all the time at these events. Oh my God. I'm sorry. You know who you are. I'll put in their info here. But showed us this Coopworth pencil roving, and Tashi was like, "Hey, your sweater spin, Coopworth pencil roving will be perfect for it." So we went over to the booth. We ended up finding, because of course they were like, "Oh, we don't know, it was kind of like over here, maybe over there," and it ended up being that like the first barn that we went into, they were right there, and it was the right barn, so it was just like kismet. And let me get the card because I don't have the card, of course. Okay, so this is Regina of Turtle Creek Farm, and so she's part of the American Coopworth like registry, and which is a whole bunch of farms in, I want to say, the tri-state area that have Coopworths and are dedicated to preserving the breed. And so she has her stuff, you know, her fleeces processed and dyed. I think she might be maybe does the dyeing and then has it processed into pencil roving. And so one of them is here, but if y'all saw my Road to Rhinebeck video, you know that I kind of said I wanted to get probably about 2 pounds of fiber, and 2 pounds of fiber I did get. And so a pound of fiber is about as, not about as big as, probably a little big. I mean, I do have a really big head, but it's big as my head. I don't think that this one had a name, this color, but this is 100% Coopworth. And it has been processed into pencil roving. And this is that color. and I got 2 pounds of this. Okay, I got a few other little things, but my camera is telling me that it's overheating, so we will have to stop the video here, and I will be back probably in a couple hours after class to finish up the roundup. Okay, I am back a few hours later, and I changed out my battery to make sure we don't have any issues there. To wrap this video up, hopefully I remember where I left off. I'm pretty sure that I left off with the Coopworth that I will be spinning into a sweater. And so this will be my official spin to knit for my 2026 Rhinebeck sweater. And hopefully I can get in the fleece as well. But I am really excited about this one. So I got 2 pounds. So each of these is a pound. And then my plan is to spin it up on my Saxony. So I'll be spinning up woolen, and it is a woolen prep. And I will probably just be like dividing it into like 2-ounce little batlets, since my bobbins on my Saxony hold about 2 ounces at a time, and taking you all through that whole process. So that'll be a full-on making journal that'll be sort of a year long. So it'll be exciting to see what I get up to over the next year with this beautiful fiber. So looking at everything else around me, another place we stopped was at Beaulayer's Orchards, and they're out of Troy, Pennsylvania, and they have CVM. And we, at the end of the day, this was also on Sunday, so they really had been pretty picked over, but became highly recommended from Tashi and from Sam, Samantha Guerin, who actually also got some of this same color of Coopworth. But we all are just obnoxious and matching. But anyways, they came highly recommended from Tashi and Sam. And so Tashi and I decided to get just a little, what we're calling a little snack. So this is a Romeldale CVM in milk chocolate is what they're calling the color. And it's just a small 2-ounce little bag. And so the thought that we're having is that we will spin this up, and this will be our main color. And I guess I should take one of these out, so pardon the crinkles. And I'll grab my yarn jam. So the thought is that we will have this be the main color, and then the yarn jam will be the contrast color for grid gambits for next year. So we will be tray matchy-matchy. So that's that, and I think that is all of the yarn and fiber. That is all of the yarn and fiber, other than the fleece that I don't have. I should have gotten the locks. Wait, they're right there. I will be right back. Okay, so I got the lock for our fleece, and this is it. I am so excited. So I'm so excited to have the locks and keep it this way. So, you know, I have it for memory's sake. And then I'm really excited to have the fleece processed by Tashi. It's going to make it extra special since, you know, obviously it's a friend sort of putting in their love and attention into processing the fleece. So I'm really excited about that. So I did pick up a few things in terms of merch, other than the bag, not necessarily like Rhinebeck merch, but like merchandise, like items that are not fiber and yarn. I did pick up an orifice hook. And so this is just a Kromsky orifice hook for Stacy. So my vintage wheel does not have an orifice hook, and I've just been stealing orifice hooks from my various other machines, and so I wanted to have one that was dedicated to her. Originally I was hoping to find something that was like, you know, sort of nice and handmade and maybe decorated in some way, and I wasn't able to sort of find anything. Again, I wasn't necessarily like on the lookout, so I just found this one. It's just a Kromsky orifice hook, and so what I think I might do is I might try to like drill a hole in it to have like a little strap of leather so that I can hang it on Stacy and she can have her own orifice hook, because if I have this laying around the house, I know that Penny will just play with it and it'll disappear into the under the bed gods. And then similarly, I also got a Nosta pin, which is also a Kromsky Nosta pin. And so sometimes when I want to apply from a center pull ball, I feel like my ball binder is a little too aggressive. So, you know, having a Nosta pin is nice. Also for sampling, if I'm just having a little bit, I can just use the Nosta pin to create a center pull ball. And then I'm even thinking, because this one actually looks pretty straight from start to finish, I might even be able to use it to make like faux lags, which is the way that I like to spin from bats. So we will see. It's just a stick. And then the obnoxious of obnoxiousness. So a friend Kat had this awesome hat, and we were just like, where did you get that hat from? We need that hat. And so then we all ended up going to Harrisville and getting ourselves some woolen spun hats. So here we go. Now I feel like I'm gonna have to keep it on because of the hair, but so we did get some woolen spun hats at the Harrisville booth. Let's see, I mean, my hair is, I don't have makeup on or anything today, so who am I kidding? But really, really fun little treat that we all got. And then, so that we can be the most obnoxious of obnoxious people there ever lived, who was it that had these chicken shirts? I forget who it was that first brought the chicken shirt to our attention. I will ask Tashi and put their info here. But they brought these chicken shirts to our attention and we had to Zoom for them. And they were at, let me look up the farm's name. This is actually why we ended up at, it's a boiler farm, Bow Farm, or Bow Orchards, because they were in the same booth. And apologies for any background noise because I opened the windows. So these were at Normandy Allen Ceramics, Gifts, and Design. In their booth is where we got these chicken shirts. And let me show you the shirt. You're probably like, what are you talking about, chicken shirt? So it's just a t-shirt. I probably got a size a little too big, but we can always crop it. So it's just a t-shirt, but the fun thing is that it has chickens processing fleece from start to finish. So here you see the chicken is raising the sheep, then they're shearing the sheep, then then they're combing the fleece, then they're spinning, and then knitting, right? Yep. So from start to finish, the processing and the chickens are doing it. So our plan to be super obnoxious is we both got chicken shirts, and we're thinking that we're probably with our fleece going to make a cardigan pattern. So it's likely not going to be the same cardigan pattern because we're going to be spinning our own things. But the fleece that we got and Tashi will be processing for us, We are going to then individually spin and knit our own cardigans, and then we're going to wear our cardigans with our chicken shirts. And that is the plan. So I think that's all I have for you all. I know this is a lengthy one because I think just looking at the timestamps from our other, or my other video clips, I hope that you're still here. Oh, the numbers. I cannot leave you guys without the numbers. So now that we have shown you everything that was purchased, here are the numbers. So in terms of fiber, and I did estimate 10 pounds, I was close. So in terms of fiber, I have 9.675 pounds of fiber. Now that does include the fleece, so which is 4 pounds, and typically, you know, you lose some in the processing. So that number will likely go down a tiny little bit, but we do have 9.675 pounds, or I have 9.675 pounds. Tashi had a bit less than that. They showed a little bit more restraint than I did. And then in terms of yardage for the yarn, I have 4,022 yards worth of yarn purchased. So those are the numbers. That is the damage. It was honestly the best weekend ever. Had so much fun, had such a great time meeting all of you all. So thank you if you came up and said hi. It really makes my day every single time someone comes up to me. I did have a little bit of a moment on Sunday where I got a little overwhelmed with a group of really lovely folks that came up to me, and those who know me in person, and I know I say this here, it's really hard to understand, like, me being an introvert and putting myself in front of a camera, the fact that I'm not extroverted, I'm extremely introverted, and on top of that, I don't like being the center of attention. So there was a point there where I was kind of surrounded by a few people, and I got a little overwhelmed, but in the best of ways, and it was so much fun. So I'm just really happy that you all find my content enjoyable, and so many people you know, kind of commented on, you know, kind of the fact that I highlight for bigger bodies and busty bodies, and you know, they appreciate being able to see a lot of these patterns on different bodies than necessarily the designers or the model. So it's the reason I do this all. It's for connection and to make sure that there are others out there that you all understand that, you know, we're all worthy of feeling beautiful in our knits and our items that we buy and make. And that's my goal whenever I sit here and yell at the camera for hours about the things that I'm working on. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I think that's all I have for you all. I'm assuming at some point I put in a vlog in here somewhere in the beginning, the middle, maybe the end. And I will see you all for the monthly podcast episode. And then I'm off to Barcelona. So you guys will be coming along with me to Spain for a little trip to Barcelona Knits in November. So if you've lasted this long, please be sure to do all the podcasty things, like, subscribe, and click that bell icon so you're notified every time you post a video. And I post a video, let me know what you are working on in the comments. I love interacting with you all and just listening to what you guys are working on, and also what you picked up if you came to Rhinebeck. This is also a big festival sort of season, so if you went to any of your local ones as well. And I guess until next time, be sure to take care of yourselves, your loved ones, and each other, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.